Today we shall discuss the lesson My Birthplace by Neeraj Chaudhary for the elective English students of BA Part 1. My Birthplace is written by Neeraj Chandra Chaudhary, who was born at Kishorganj, now in Bangladesh. This extract has been taken from the autobiography of an unknown citizen. In this lesson, the writer describes in vivid detail his childhood memories and his delight in the religious, cultural, and social life of the Hindus and Muslims of his hometown Kishorganj. He has an observant eye and captures in a masterly way a rich mood of gaiety, solemnity, and pathos in the innocent reactions of a child. Town Kishorganj was divided into two halves by the river, passing through the center of it. The writer did not think equally well of both the banks of the river. Actually, he disliked the other bank. He thinks that it was mainly an indication of the spirit of the age of his boyhood, which was vastly different from the spirit of present age. One side of the river had all the shops and bazaars. This side had the strength of religious, cultural, political, and aesthetic considerations. The temple of Golden Kali, of goddess Kali, Muslim prayer hall, Eidgah, the prayer hall of Hindus were all on this side of the river. Similarly, schools, cricket ground, public library, government dispensary, hospital, courts, treasury, police station, post office, and dak bungalow were also on this side of the river bank. This side of the river bank was very clean also, while the other bank of the river was rather unclean. There were quarters of prostitutes on that side. The author and his brothers and cousin never discussed these women among themselves. The writer and his playmates never set foot on the other bank. That bank was considered as something low, and children of respectable families were not allowed to go on that side. Then writer describes the festivals of the Kishorganj. The famous festivals were Krishna festival, and it was the annual festival. The boys looked forward to this festival because they were sent there with a servant and special allowance of money, primarily to see the sight and to buy toys. There was a good variety of dolls which were polished when selected by children. They were rather polished immediately when children bought them with varnish. There was another great festival of Krishna. It was held every year during September and October on the southern outskirts of the town. The writer gives a graphic description of the swing festival of Krishna. It had a great many items to offer. They were expensive items. There were they were more on luxurious lists. There were book binding shops doing golden and silver work on book covers. There were a variety of musical instruments also. Silk clothes were also sold there, fine Muslim caps. Similarly, furniture items like chair, table, cupboards, and many other things were also sold. Musical instruments such as violin, harmonium were on the display in the fair. There was also a variety of drums, including the mridang or two sided dance drums, which were used for singing songs of Radha's love for Krishna. The writer mentions about two kinds of luxury item available in the fairs. There were some luxury items which were not considered necessary for the daily life, but there were other luxuries which were available for the rest of the year. Another festival celebrated in Kishorganj was the Muslim festival Eid. Even the Hindu boys, like the writer, looked forward to its celebrations with the keenest expectations. On the Eid day, prayers were held in large field on the eastern side of the town reserved for an Eidgah. And it, it left a great impression on the mind of the writer. Children or Kishorganj waited and observed keenly the march of the common folk of the field of, to the field of the prayer. Passage of the elephant procession of the Muslim Jamidars family and return of the ordinary people was also observed. Writer differentiates between the Hindu festivals and Muslim festivals. While the Hindu festivals are associated with seasons and weathers, but on the other side, Muslim festivals, they are purely a human activity and half the activity of something which surpasses both men and earth together. On the Eid day, the peasants they had a changed look. They dressed in a merry way, but their faces were solemn. Similar was the condition of the children. They also wore new clothes, but solemnness was reflected on their faces. So the writer describes the two important things of his hometown Kishorganj. First of all, he mentions that there are the festivals are mentioned, and then he describes that the children of those days they looked very differently upon that side where prostitutes used to live because it was something considered as a taboo and they were not allowed to go on that side. So, a simple city is not only described, but the festival of those days has also been described. And this lesson also tells us about the difference between the children of those days and these days. While the children of these days are involved in many activities, in those days their activities were limited to only few festivals only which they enjoyed along with their servants or with their family members. But the children of today they have so much is offered to them on a platter that they are living a life which is totally different to the life lived by their predecessors. Thank you.